Was it just a coincidence? Not according to this document, which fell into my hands, which proves that the election was signed, sealed, and delivered long before any ballot was cast. The state hired a company called DBT Choice Point. This document, marked confidential and secret, indicates that the company was paid millions to create lists of criminals who should be barred from voting, and then verify that those lists were correct. But Florida state officials told Choice Point not to bother verifying the names, despite Choice Point warnings that it could mean thousands of innocent people would end up losing their vote. And First Brother Jeb Bush is also implicated in the illegal voter purge. His office blocked the registration of 50,000 new voters, almost everyone a Democrat, in this letter. Jeb's office denies the letter exists. At the heart of the felon fix is this man, Katherine Harris's aide, Clayton Roberts, Harris's director of elections. I took my BBC television crew to Florida's Capitol building to meet up with Harris's operative. 18th floor, Division of Elections. We've come to ask Mr. Clayton Roberts, the director, a few questions. But when I began to ask him about the documents marked secret, he became a little uncomfortable.
We have a statute that says we have to have a private company to do this. We put it out for bid. They got the bid. And I think I'm done with this interview.
Wait, well, let me just show you the contract, if I could, Mr. Roberts. Wait, it says here, right in the contract, that the verification is supposed to be done by DBT, that you paid them $4 million. Don't you it could look to other people that you paid $4 million to purchase this election for the Republican Party, Mr. Roberts? Instead, Mr. Roberts called in the state troopers to remove us from the governor's office building. It's interesting here, huh?
Oh, man, never go home. Now that the votes are counted, it is time for the votes to count.
In accordance with the laws of the state of Florida, I hereby declare Governor George W. Bush the winner of Florida's 25 electoral votes for the President of the United States. I wish to point out that our American democracy has triumphed once again.
It is a special day for America. It's a day in which our nation confirms the fact that we trust democracy, a peaceful transfer of power.
Thank you, and may God bless America.
To the corporations that put him into the White House, George W. Bush was an investment that paid off big time. Take that company that came up with the phony felon list, Choice Point. They got it 95% wrong, but they didn't get the boot. They got the big, no-bid contracts, including one for $67 million to help Bush fight his war on terror. And they weren't the only company helpful to Bush's election to hit the White House jackpot.
George W. Bush, as governor and now as president, is an absolute corporate wet dream.
Dreams and schemes hatched in these glass towers of Texas. Looks powerful. Looks invincible. In fact, it's the gravestone here in Houston of what was the largest power corporation on this planet, Enron. Here's something that caught my eye. Bush takes office. Just 3 days later, he signs an executive order that raises the price of electricity in California. Nearly bankrupts that state, but earns these guys billions. Now, why would our president do that? Jim Hightower, once the Commissioner of Agriculture for the state of Texas, is now a radio columnist. From inside government and out, he's tracked the Bush family's mix of politics and payouts for years.
I'd trust a wolf to guard my last pork chop before I'd trust the Bushites to guard my liberties. Any fantasy that the boss of a major corporation has can come true if you just put in some money into Bush's personal or political pockets. They're very loyal to each other and to those who are loyal to them. They stand and deliver for those who put money into their politics or into their personal accounts.
I, George Walker Bush, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States.
Enron puts in a few $100,000 into Bush's presidential campaign. In the first 5 or 6 months of the administration, it reaps hundreds of millions of dollars in personal benefit.
Texas Republic Justice Chief Craig McDonald is a modern-day vigilante who follows the political money trail.
Here's Ken Lay, who's the CEO of Enron. He delivered hundreds of thousands of dollars to the Bush campaign. This is the power team that hit the long ball and then put you all the way in the White House. The Pioneer Network was built by George W. Bush off the network of cronies, acquaintances, and funders that his father had during presidency. They built this network not just out of whole cloth, but it had been a network that helped the family dynasty, if you will.
To be a pioneer, you have to pledge to raise at least $100,000 for the Bush candidacy.
These were pioneers who were plowing new ground to create record amounts of money for Bush's run for the presidency. The legal limit for anyone to give to the campaign is $1,000.
So the way they get around that campaign limit is you get a corporate executive who wants favors from the incoming Bush administration, who will tap his family, extended family, corporate colleagues, country club pals, golf buddies, etc., raking up $1,000 checks and bundle them up into $100,000 plus contributions to George W.'s presidential ambitions.
After the first year of Bush entering the White House, 43 of his elite group of pioneers received lush government appointments. They personally benefited. 19 of them appointed to ambassadorships.
Even before he takes the presidential oath, Bush forms a secret task force, including Enron's Ken Lay, to rewrite America's environmental and energy laws.
He put the very people who funded him in the room to devise a clean air policy. They wrote the policy, he enacted the policy, and the policy was strictly voluntary. Did nothing to clean up the air, yet he touted it as a major accomplishment.
Instead of the government telling utilities where and how to cut pollution, we will give them a firm deadline and let them find the most innovative ways to meet it.
These same funders were sick and tired of trying to play by the environmental rules and regulations. George Bush gave them an environmental clean air policy that any corporation would lust after.
How proud we are to be the #1 state in the country in air pollution.
Ken Lay got almost total, complete energy deregulation out of George Bush.
What did the Bush administration do? It refused to impose price controls, to put a cap on those utility prices, meaning a company like Enron could set its own prices to consumers.
Show me the money. Show me the money.
He was delivering a favor and a policy that the donors who put him in that office wanted.
Consumers in California were being stiffed, and Enron was raking in hundreds of millions of dollars during that period in corrupt profits. So that's a pretty good payback.
But Enron squandered their California windfall in a series of spectacular frauds which imploded, leaving thousands jobless and pensioners bankrupt. Now, George tried to downplay his links with Enron's Ken Lay and other corrupt bosses.
By far, the vast majority of CEOs in America are good, honorable, honest people. In the corporate world, sometimes things aren't exactly black and white when it comes to accounting procedures, and the SEC's job is to look and is to determine whether or not the decision by the auditors was the appropriate decision.
Ken Lay, whom George W. fondly called Kenny Boy, was the major campaign contributor to George W. Bush, and they exchanged Christmas cards with each other. Ken Lay was very personal, very close with the Bush family.
I do know that Mr. Lay came to the White House early in my administration, along with I think 20 other business leaders, to discuss the state of the economy. It was just kind of a general discussion. I have not met with him personally.
I've gotten my hands on a video of an Enron retirement party for one of Ken Lay's colleagues. It stars both Presidents Bush, more than happy to say a few encouraging words for their family's top campaign contributors.
You have been fantastic to the Bush family. I don't think anybody did more than you did to support George.
Don't leave Texas. You're too good a man. I appreciate your service to our great state. I look forward to working with you to make Texas a better place. Good luck in anything you do. You're a good Texan.